Inclusive teaching, supporting all students in the college classroom. Introduction to multiple means of action and expression.
Students may enter the classroom with movement impairments, executive functioning disorders, learning disabilities, language barriers, or educational and cultural experiences that may change how they approach a learning experience or learning objective. For example, some students may be able to express themselves in a spoken format, but may have difficulty with writing. Or they may use a mobility device that makes moving around the classroom space during group work more challenging. You may have low-income students or working parents who may find it challenging to participate in extracurricular activities for your class, such as attending a play or an exhibit at a museum, but who could participate if other options were presented to them. The important point to note here is that there's not one way that's best for all learners, so it's important to provide options to make the learning experience inclusive of all students.
It's important for faculty to offer opportunities for students to demonstrate their knowledge in different ways. So perhaps with a test or with a paper that they're writing or creating something like a video. In those cases, it's also important that you make those opportunities accessible to students with disabilities. And I always like to make the products accessible too. So if they are going to create a video, make sure that they provide it in an accessible format, at least provide captions on it, so they can learn that skill as well. Even within a test, a faculty member can provide multiple ways for a student to show knowledge. So rather than have multiple choice throughout, they could provide some true and false, some multiple choice, some short answer, maybe even an essay for students so they can express themselves in different ways. It's also good within a class for the faculty member to allow some options and maybe one assignment in the class. And so a student can actually choose what works best for them, like creating a video or a paper or maybe a presentation about the topic that's been presented in the class. It's all about multiple this and multiple that, multiple ways of doing things, multiple ways of sharing what you've learned while you've done those things. That's universal design.
So one of the things that I built into my teaching is opportunities for students to complete assignments in multiple modes. And I'll give a quick example. I teach a lot of first-year composition. So this is a course where students are being introduced to academic writing and they're engaging with scholarly sources. And you want to make sure that students are not only reading difficult academic genres, but being able to write about them effectively. And communicate about them to different audiences. And what the most traditional way that students achieve this goal is by writing an academic essay, maybe 7 to 8 pages, kind of summarizing what they've learned and how they've learned it. And I don't want to say that writing the 7-page essay is not important. I'm not backing away from my commitment to I want to support the academic writing and the academic development. But I also think that there's a lot of value in sort of saying, how else can students demonstrate the sorts of things that I'm asking them to do? We have objectives on our syllabus, right? And we're really focused on making sure that the activities that students do enable them to meet those objectives. In the classes that I teach, which are almost always writing classes, often the goal is for students to absorb or read or engage with scholarly research and write about it to an audience, often imagined as an academic audience, using citation formats and so on and so forth. But it's also been really enriching to think about what are some other ways that students can demonstrate the uptake of a scholarly article. Can they talk about it? Can they engage in a conversation about it? Can they imagine an interview with the author of a scholarly essay? Can they? And so when I started experimenting with these other possibilities, it sort of opened the floor for what's my criteria here? Am I assuming too much about one particular end product and that particular end product's success at me seeing a student's achievement of a goal? Is it possible for students to show their learning through multiple modes, different genres. And often it's really enriching, it's exciting, it's fun to collaborate with students and figure out ways that they can do this.